All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I am Darkpool Algo, and today is Friday, January 21st, 2022. Sorry, I just need to adjust my mic real quick. Just a second. Let me get it out of my face so I can see what's going on. Well, welcome, Laz. What's up, brother? What is up? Dude, I'm thinking, man, you know what, Laz? We need to talk about that. I think that really needs to happen. And with the quickness. And so I told you I fired Roblox and Moderna, right? I think I'm going to hire Apple instead. And of course, as soon as I fire them, guess what happens? Moderna comes out with some news, and they're probably going to get a little bit of rippity rip. We do have some pretty significant news to go over. Everybody's talking about two things, Peloton and Netflix. Netflix is kind of the pulse of the market, and Netflix earnings has really caused them to tank. Big time tanks. All right, let me get rid of some of this stuff that's going to be a distraction to me, because I really don't need to be seeing it, and we will go from there. Twitter should be good. Tweet dick. All right. If you were holding longs, I feel bad for you, son. Got 99 problems and a profit ain't one. Yeah. Bitcoin's down. Everything's down. I kind of like it. Like I said, we really did need this, and I'm really excited about looking at the futures today, because I think we nailed it yesterday. So we absolutely nailed it. Okay. A little bit of housekeeping. One, smart money dark pool block trade algorithm software, FlowTrade. Yes, big changes are coming in the future. So if you haven't already gotten subscribed, get your trial, reach out, see what we need to do to make sure that you're comfortable there, and make that happen. Secondly, predicted trades. Again, if you want to just go to the ATM every day, find your favorite ticker, sign up for predicted trades, 10% discount using code DARKPOOL at checkout. I think that there's a couple people in here that can attest to the ATM qualities of predicted trades. So yeah, There's a couple people. I'm sorry, I'm just finishing getting up my stuff set up. I am streaming for the Bullish Bears this morning for the Open. Dang, I gotta quit hitting that mic, man. And I will be paper trading it because I'm still getting used to the system, and not gonna throw my money away. There's no reason for me to be throwing money away. I don't know if you saw my post on Instagram the other day. Yeah. My post on Instagram yesterday was just a bunch of $100 bills. I'm like, I'm sitting in cash. Okay, let's get to it. Cloudflare. Ooh, I love Cloudflare. If I could trade one stock, I like Cloudflare. It's just a fun stock to trade. Solid company. I believe if it, like, I'm looking to get Cloudflare for the long term. Yes, I am. Why? Because it's a very solid company. I use it every single day. I would like to see them do a little bit more marketing, right? And of course, concern rejected the 50, or the 200, and they're sitting at the bottoms of stuff. So does Cloudflare get a little poppity pop today? I don't know. We'd have to look at futures. So let's do that first. I want to look at the futures just because then we'll go through the news, and that'll really help kind of gauge what's going to crack off today in the market, whether this news is going to help a company rip or if it's going to continue to dip. And I dip, you dip, we dip, and we hit it. We hit the 200. We kissed the 200 SMA on the daily. Now, this doji candle that's forming is today's candle. This was a close yesterday. We closed. Where is this previous day's close? Hold on, I gotta double check and see if this is previous day's close. Last price line, previous day close price line. Oh, that's what I need. I need to make that purple. Purple. Make it thicker. All right, it's not going to show, but that's fine. So what happened? Well, we fell off a cliff yesterday, just like we thought we were going to. We did not retake the 618. Right, so going into yesterday, we pulled back to the 50% retracement, right? We came down, we kissed the 382, and we went below it. We pulled all the way back to the 200 SMA. Now we've got issues, right? We still got 2150 stacked, 2150, 200 stack positive, but we're at a major area of support, right? The last time we even flirted with the 200 was June of 2020. It was the last time we were down at this level. That was after the beer bug rally, right? We thought we were recovered, pulled back, and we never touched it again since then. So this is a pretty significant pullback. Is it a course correction? Haha, shout out to Power Book 3. No, is it a course correction? It's at the very least chop. I would like to see maybe all right, so so we pull back, we're at the 382, right? Typically, if we can't hold the 382 extension, we come back to, there's a 237 in this general area somewhere. But typically, from a Fibonacci perspective, a rally pull back to the 382 to confirm support, and if we reverse from there, then the initial trend will continue. However, if we break below that, then we start a new trend. It would be downtrending. Okay, so we are currently dojiing on the daily. Let's check out the 4-hour. Right smack down, right down to the 200, which I can't show you because I don't have it on this chart. So we closed yesterday right at 44.74.75, and since then we're just kind of pulling back. The worst thing that could have happened today would be chop, right? It would be really good I can't believe I missed this move here, right? I caught this move, and I was trying to catch this move, but I missed it. I took a nap, and I woke up, and everything was dead. So two things. This is a tweezer bottom, and tweezer bottoms typically indicate a reversal, right? when you get two pretty much identical candles, that is typically a sign of reversal. Rally up and pulling back. If we find our support here on the 4-hour, then we might get a pop today. I wouldn't go long until we break yesterday's close. Okay, looking at it on the 30-minute, more of the same, right? Rally up to yesterday's high, so this is a close, and then this morning pre-market pull back to the 382, and we're just kind of hovering around there. We haven't really created a trend yet, but our 21 EMA is red. Right, we have negatively stacked moving averages on the 30. Right, we couldn't retake the 21. This 382 is really providing some support. If we break down below that and we flush below, like this is important, flush below 44.2950, things are going to get real. It's going to be a roller coaster ride to the downside, right? Like a real roller coaster ride to the downside. Let's look at, let me pull up my 2-3 extension on this fib just for giggles. That would be the next downside target, would be 43.7 or 43.80. Excuse me, 43.7850 on the nose. Okay, I'm gonna leave that on for now just because I think we have to have a downside target. All right, so 30-minute looks heavy. 2-hour looks heavy, right? 4-hour looks heavy. All right, 4-hour we may get a rally to the 21, right? Or we rallied up to the 8, right? And we rejected off that. A rally up to the 8 again would be a 50% retracement for the final move to the downside, or we confirm course correction. And then finally, daily. Let's look at the daily. The daily. We did hit the 200 SMA, right? I mean, we're within a couple ticks. I'm going to consider that fine on a $4,800 futures contract within a couple ticks from a fib level. I think that's, well, pretty dang good. All right, moving on. Let's look at the NQ. Yes, Drago, we'll check FlowTrade for SPY, I promise. We'll get into that. I want to just give you guys an overall market perspective. Remember, we had said, oh, possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, and that's, I think that comes into play on this 30-minute, right? Well, I was off by quite a bit, right? So that whole thing's off. But let's check out the daily on this real quick. All right, daily, where's my 200? Oh, that's right, we were below the 200. Let's let all these voodoo lines load up. All right, there we go. So, next downside target I have really is previous low. We've got a tree line here at 14.44125. This is a daily. This is the daily doji right now. We have to make a decision if we try to rally up to that snow line back through this trading zone, or if we can continue to pull back. We do have kind of some death cross stuff happening here. We now have the 21 cross below the 200. We've got the 50 curl down, and everything is very heavy, right? Maybe a quick pop just to like one final, well, no, that was it right there. Sell off, quick rally to the 21. Remember on the daily, if we ever rally to the 21 from a pullback, we want to short, we want to sell that. And I said, hey, we should sell at 16,000. And then look at this massive move to the downside. Okay, so currently, as far as supply and demand zones, there is a micro demand zone that runs right here. A little micro one right there. That could be enough to reverse, or there's, I don't know how many buyers left in here, but there's definitely going to be some action at this level here. The worst thing that could happen is we chop between those two trading zones. Okay, Craig, I'm bringing it down to the 4-hour. See what's going on. All right, right off the top of that demand zone, back up to the previous supply zone demand zone. Right, snowline target 15,000. Do we overtake 15,000 or do we reject it? That's going to be really the determining factor. What happens when we get back up to 15,000? If we get there, if we don't, then we have to look at a pretty significant downside move, continuation downside move. Right. Like I said, we're just kind of chilling within that. I bet you. Just make sure I got that correct zone right there. Yep, I think my zone's off just a little bit. That's the zone there. That is the zone. All right, so we pulled back right up to a mogul line. And then we're trapped in between two mogul lines, negatively stacked moving averages, right? It's Friday. We may have lowered volume. People may just be like, I'm sick of this market. I want to take a break. We'll definitely find out as the market goes on. All right, we'll get through the last two real quick. Looking at the Dow, right? And our friend, the Russell. All right, Dow, again, below the 50, below the 200, below the 21. The Dow has probably got another move to the downside that we can expect today. There is... my zone is off here. Let me fix that sucker. Well, it might not be. It might not be. I think maybe it was off. So that's correct zone right there off of this doji candle, this trend reversal candle right there. So yeah, I mean, we broke below the 2-3 extension, the 382. I'll turn that sucker on for you just so you can see. Right, we pulled back, we rejected that, and we may have a continuation move to the downside. Now, one thing, let me go back to this. One thing that I just noticed is we may have the possibility of some trendline support coming in here. Right, that might be a very real possibility. Let's get our... Nope, we broke it. We broke that sucker. Alrighty. That might be the one right there, actually. So there's probably a little channel right here. If we come down, bounce off that support, a little rally pop, continuation to the downside. That's a lot of red bars without a retracement bar. So maybe a quick pop. Let's see, we rally down. We broke the 382. We hit the 237. We retraced to the 50%, failed that, came back down, kissed the top of this demand zone. Any short pops, so for this to be a reversal, we'll need a pop, pullback, and another move up, right? Kind of like this one, down, we did a pop, pullback, and another move up. So that's the Dow on the daily. Let's look at the 4 hour real quick. This is 1, 2, 3 possible reversal. If we don't, let's see. If the next, well, that's a 4 hour. Let's look at the 30. There we go. It's looking real heavy, y'all. It's looking like another down day for the Dow. Like, the levels I'd be looking for is if I already took that out. Let's see. Yeah, if it trades down into this zone again, it's going to be pretty ugly. We might get a pop to the 3. We may get a sell-off pre-market, a pop to 34,615, and then we're either going to reject that and continue down, or we're going to close up above it and start moving back up to the 382. I'm not super confident in that though. I'm looking at another downside move. Another one and another one. All right, let's check out. And then the last one we want to look at is the Russell. All right, so Russell broke our trendline support, smashed right through our our little supply zone that we had here, which is actually off. It should be. It should be in it right now, but we did break our downtrend. So what do? We look for the furthest out deviation, which would be 5 deviations away from the mean, right? 200 SMA on the daily, right? So that's the 0 line. 1, 2, 3, 4 deviations away from the 0 line. That's a lot. I don't see any other trend lines that could possibly hold us up. We do have that demand zone right here. So we were rally, right? Oh, reversal, back down to support, rally, pull back, confirm this zone. We are in that previous supply zone, which is now a demand zone. I don't know how many orders are left in there to fill, but if we do retrace, we're going to reject. We've got that trend line that we're going to have to get through and then confirm our way back up. You'll Russell on the 4-hour, right? This move right here, down, up, this is setting up for another downside move. Do you see that? So if it doesn't confirm, if it doesn't reverse here, basically, we can look at the Russell. I don't even know what trades in the Russell, but small caps are going to get smacked. And then finally the 30-minute. Yeah, it's just real heavy. Not too confident in the support, right? Not too confident in this channel that it's trading within, right? I don't believe it can break through it. And if it does, it's going to get immediate overhead resistance. And then it's got a whole nother channel right here, right? So in that instance, what we do is we take that, we duplicate it, and we move it up to the previous one here, right? And that's real close to being right on. I mean, I would say it's pretty close. All right. That is just the general futures overall, you know, state of the nation kind of thing. Gold is chopping. And again, what we like to see is this bottom row down. You know, the saying is bottom row down, top row up. That's the way we like to trade futures. Crude is ripping. It's interesting that the bonds are having such an issue, right? Bonds are selling off and the ES is selling off on the daily, right? The yen is actually up, crude is up, and gold is kind of moving up. With gold being up and crypto being down, right? We all know crypto kind of fell off the bottom of a cliff yesterday, or pre-market. It's going to be very important to see what happens in the next 30 minutes or so, right? Actually, bonds are up. My bad. I was wrong with that. So yen up, bonds up, crude kind of chopping, and gold retracing. Leads me to believe that we do have. Yeah, we're just gonna have to check back in on it after we get through the news, and let's do that, shall we? All right. In the news, lots of things are happening in the news. Let me get my right thing here. There we go, magic helps. And here we go. Cloudflare upgraded to outperform neutral at Credit Suisse. Intel will invest $20 billion in 2 new plants in Ohio to make advanced chips. The company said on Friday that's bullish for chips overall. However, let's see the weight of the market if it can actually help Intel out. Intel lost the 200 yesterday. It's using the 50 as support. If it breaks down below this weekly mid, right, at 51.86, we got the 200 for support right below it at 51.55, and then it trades down on the daily cloud. I would like a move down to the bottom of the daily cloud or a 50% retracement, right? So basically a move down to about 51. Earnings is coming up next week, so there would be a rally into earnings, right? I believe Intel should have pretty decent earnings. They usually do. Right now, as it sits, I'm not going to be like go long on Intel. Let the market shake out. And actually today, just be careful. It's a Friday. It's been a rough day for everyone. You don't want to just give away any kind of money that you've made this week, right? So keep it tight, keep it safe, and then yeah, we can look at it next week too. Ribbon Communications shares down 18%. Oh, look at that. Right, it went from 550 to 430 and then ripped back up to 5, smacked into $5. So 5 is the key level there. If it can't overtake 5 again, then this dead cat is gonna bounce. Netflix. Oh, Netflix. Pulse of the market, yo. Monthly bottom incoming. It's at the monthly bottom. Remember we talked about monthly bottom, how important that is, right? And how it, like, massive support level in a downtrending stock, right? Well, what do we do with this? What can we do with this? Not a lot. I mean, it's trying to form an inverse head and shoulders. It's trying to get some moving averages stack positive again. It, you know, from lows of 397, sub 400 to 412 at Netflix. Sorry, buddy. You're coming back down to the daily, but you know, I think if you chill here, you'd be lucky. If you don't, you know, if you can hold 400 for the next couple of days, Netflix, you're lucky, to be honest with you. Is it at a good value? Yeah, I'd rather buy Netflix at 200, right? Bring it down to 200. Let's go. Hey, don't get bear trapped or bull trapped by this, okay? I'm gonna use my 2 chart for this one. You don't want to get bear trapped, bull trapped, one of the two, right? Oh, Tesla, maybe come down to 950, make me rich. I've got the 950s. I thought I had the 980s. I was all excited. I was like, yeah, I got the 980s. No, I had the 950s. I was bummed. All right. Remember that time where Netflix traded between 500 and 525 for months? Right? Until it finally had to do something. Well, I think we're getting back to that move again. Netflix is $400. Oh, dude, my bad. That's even so. Check it, yo. Netflix chilling at point of control. No, Netflix chilling at 400. Let me show you where that looks like here on this chart. What does that tell you? It tells me that it's going to find support at 392. From 392 to 400. If I were in Netflix, I'd be shorting it to death. It could come down to 290, right? Let's go back to pre-pandemic or pre-bear bug levels, 292, right? It was rallying. It was trying to hit 400. Bear bug hit. It went from 400 to 292, and then just ripped from there. All right, so that's enough about Netflix. Moving on. ISRG, remember I was like, ooh, ISRG has earnings, right? Boom, shakalaka, right? This was trading at 370. Now it's trading at 275, right? I think it just continues to fall off a cliff. This is by far, that's a big old nasty head and shoulders. The left shoulder, head, right shoulder, short below that neckline, and there it goes. It did come up to previous support. I know it's hard to see, so I don't like TrendSpider for this, but there's a demand zone right here that it just ripped through. So 274, jeez Louise. 274. This is the demand zone we need to look at right here. I think that's the play. Whew, it's a big drop, man. All right. Moderna. So, like I said, I fired Moderna. Moderna came out with an upgrade. Moderna loves news. Big old bull flag forming right there. Oops, my bad. Looks like a failed bull flag. I just don't think it's got enough juice in it to reverse its trend. It lost the 4-hour, weekly, daily. Honestly, monthly bottom is the next Keltner channel for support. If it can't overtake the 4-hour again, so if it can't start trading above 180, right, then Moderna is, I would say, going to the monthly bottom, right? 180 is what it needs to do to even have a semblance of maintaining support. It does have some slingshot squeezes getting ready to release, but all this stuff is played out, really. These 5-minute squeezes that released are played out. We do what is this? The 15-minute Kelt. It didn't hold it. It's going to come back down to the 15 bottom, and then play the 15 bottom to 15 top on Moderna. It's about a $5 move, but it definitely likes to hold those levels. And I'm glad I fired Moderna. All right, moving on. Jack Ma's Ant Group implicated in corruption scandal by Chinese state media. Documentary on state broadcaster CCTV adds to pressure on billionaire's internet empire. Oh, Baba. Oh, Baba. There we go. Inverse head and shoulders forming on Baba on the 5-minute. Big old pullback. It lost the 4-hour, right? So maybe, well, it's got a nice old trend line here that's, oh, whoa, what the heck? Did you see that big, nasty candle that just killed that trend? I was like, oh, it's got trend line support. Well, not anymore, it doesn't. It broke that. Literally just broke that trend line support. If this is a wick killing, right, stop taker, then that might be good. So this is a pullback to the 34 on the 4-hour, right? We want to overtake the 50. I don't know where the 200 is. Is the 200 still way above it? Yeah, the 200 is still way above it. So with Baba, above 132, let's just say above 132.50 for moved 134, 136. Contrarian, if it doesn't hold this trendline support, right? There's a little wedge that's forming there. Rally, pullback, rally, pullback. All right. I wouldn't want to trade Baba. Okay. Bunch of banks had financial earnings. Nothing that we typically trade, so I'm not even going to go into that and maybe save a little bit of time. All right, here we go. Energy. Yes. Yeah, energy news. Okay, CSX. Bro, good call. Right? CSX. EPS at 42 cents versus 41. Q3 revenues at 3.43 billion versus 3.32. Q4 2021 operating ratio was 61% compared to 57% in the prior year, and Q4 operating income improved 12%. Those are blowout earnings, right? If the market hadn't tanked so hard yesterday, we'd see a lot more movement. We held the 200. We've got the 50 above us. So 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, 4-hour top. So overtake the 50. If we can get back up, right? They had really good earnings. So a little bit of a slingshot squeeze getting ready to release. A little concerned that there is double red, but in the intraday, we're starting to get greenish. Energy sectors, I think there may be some rotation into that, especially away from tech, but I couldn't trade this chop at all. Give it a couple days, see how it digests those, or those are stellar earnings, by the way. S-Power, we like trading S-Power. Said it sees its Q4 adjusted EBITDA at low end of prior guidance range, and Q4 revenues within prior guidance of 361 to 421 million. And it's to replace certain connectors with light commercial value added reseller and commercial and industrial solutions. Another downtrending stock. In the weekly, I would set an alert at 2250 and then start trading S power again. Sorry, I mean it's just the nature of the beast. Morgan Stanley said expects Brent crude oil prices to advance to $100 a barrel in the second half of this year. Absolutely, with the market heading for a simultaneous triple deficit of inventories, spare capacity, and investment. Ooh, MS came out with some shots. Shots fired. Cody, remember Cody? When you first started trading, you traded Cody. Remember? I remember trading it at like $2 and went to $4. I was like, I'm rich, right? 2 to 4. Well, dang, dude, it went up to 12. Interesting. Upgraded to buy from neutral at D.A. Davidson. Small caps being bought. What domain cancels in 5 days? Oh, that can cancel. I don't care. However, Cody's below the 200. I wouldn't touch it till I got it back above 9. Move from 9 to 10 very easily. Right? Definitely could see that happening. Right? Probably next week. Setting up for that. Again, if it can't overtake 9, right? If it can't get above the 200, I'm not even gonna be looking at it. AMD with the crack pre-market. All right. PetSmart is in talks to go public through a SPAC deal with KKR Acquisitions. Bloomberg reported that would be KAHC. PetSmart to go public. Smacked into the weekly top. Look for a pullback to the 4-hour top, 984. See if it can continue higher off of that. If it does, that would be a blowout earnings. SPACs usually trade between $9 and $12. So you could just get caught in a bunch of chop fest. Okay, Peloton, time. Guided Q2 revenue at 1.14 billion versus 1.15. Said ending Q2 connected fitness subscriptions of about 2.77 million versus 2.8 to 2.85 million. Said Q2 adjusted EBITDA loss in a range of 270 million to 260 million versus previously guided 350 to 325. So they're saying, hey, we lost less money than we thought we were going to, but we fell off a cliff. Okay, you know what's sad is that this drop yesterday isn't as bad as the drop it had back in November from 90 to 50, right? And then slowly faded off, right? Lost the 4-hour and daily. I don't even know if it has anything below that. Like, there's no Keltner channels below this. Like, what do we do when there's no Keltner channels? Like, what do you do? When, hey, let's consult the experts. What happens when there's no Keltner channels to support us? The rally reject the 4-hour bottom, then we just go to 0. I mean, that makes sense. I think if it comes back down sub 20, somebody will come in and buy it. Like Apple's in talks to buy it. I thought I saw a SPAC post on Twitter that there is markets are seeing amid total meltdown in anything tech and pandemic related. So yeah, what do we do with Peloton? This is a big old bear flag. Don't get sucked into buying the dip on this. This is a garbage stock. Okay. But rich people own Pelotons, and rich people don't like wasting money, so they will jump in to bail out other rich people. That's what they do. They're like drug dealers that way. All right, we have no real events today. Earnings, SLB. Ooh, is that Schlumberger? Schlumberger. I like this stock, right? I like this stock. So going into earnings, they were definitely uptrending. 821.34. Probably one of the more powerful stocks. Definitely a divergence on the Ready and Fire. Currently double yellow. So they lost their intraday 5,200. They came down to broke previous lows. So they broke below Well, they just rallied there. They came back down to the 34 EMA on the daily or on the 4-hour. We're right at the weekly. I think we may get a, if this 34 doesn't hold, you've got a monthly here, and then you've got the 4-hour here at 36. Maybe a wick down to 36 before a move back to 37.22 and then 38.53. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Over the last couple days, what has it been doing? It's been kind of downtrending, but holding up compared to the overall market. Big move yesterday. Market sold off. It lost its 50, it's lost its 200, and it closed below yesterday's open. So it's downtrending, right? But it's holding the 34, and it's holding. There's a micro zone that runs 36 to 36.72. If it can hold that supply or demand zone, I think we see 4-hour mid and then 4-hour, maybe 4-hour top again. Yeah, they had earnings. Why didn't I see their earnings? Hold on. They have earnings before the open, and so they beat on earnings and they beat on revenue. I mean, they had good earnings, so let's just see what happens. Okay. And finally, the last little part of our lesson for today is a whole lot of news. Just a second. Let me separate this out so I can read it a little bit more clearly. Wow, they actually brought in some Bitcoin news. That's crazy. As far as earnings events today, leading index month over month for December, and Baker Hughes weekly rig count data at 1 Eastern, and month over month index at 10 Eastern. Okay. So U.S. futures are looking lower, but well off the worst levels of the night, trying to recover after the bloodbath the first 3 days of this holiday shortened trading week. The Russell 200 is down 6.4% this week coming into Friday, having broken down below key technicals levels. And remember, we have that listed out there. While the NASDAQ has fallen nearly 5%, leading behind a 10% drop this week alone, and semiconductor stocks as higher treasury yields and rising expectations of 3 to 4 rate hikes this year from the Fed has crimped growth stocks. The S&P 500 is down 3.85% week to date, and the Dow is down 3.3%. There has been nowhere to hide in the weekly sell-off that saw major averages plunge into the close in the last 2 sessions. A combination of rate hike fears, tensions with Russia, concern heading into earnings season, and major markets breaking below technical levels that have held up prior are all leading to the sell-off. This is true. It kind of reminds me of the beginning of 2020, 2020 actually, where crude went negative. Was that 21 or 20? I think it was 20. Yeah. Kind of, it's got that kind of little bit of a feel to it. We're going to start seeing comments like Black Swan. We start seeing things like that, and then it's going to feel very 2020-ish. Okay, just so you know. Technology NASDAQ destruction thus far in 2022. The NASDAQ 100, the QQQ closed below its 200 moving day average today for the first time since April 2020, and ending one of the longest runs in history, 450 trading days. Tech stocks are tumbling again, early behind weak subscriber growth figures and weaker Q1 guided revenue revenue guidance from Netflix last night, with shares down around 20% overnight. How would you like to wake up and realize that you're 20% less rich than you were off of Netflix the night before? Ooh, SLB failure. Look at that to 33.50. All right, in Asian markets, yay. The Bay Index, the Nikkei Index, declined negative 250 points, or 0.9%, to settle the week at 27,522. Shanghai fell 32. Hang Seng edged a little bit higher, 13 points. And in Europe, the DAX is lower by 1.5%. Ooh, and the FTSE slids over 60 points. Right there we go. Where am I reading the news from? I'm reading the news from Hammerstein. Bitcoin prices tumbled overnight. I didn't write it up. No, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. No, I don't have enough time in the day as it is. Bitcoin prices tumbled overnight, falling 6% to move below 39,000, while Ethereum dropped 7.5. And in geopolitical news, top Russia and U.S. diplomats played down any prospect of resolving their differences over Ukraine at talks on Friday. Ooh. Washington hoped that they would reduce tensions over the Russia troop buildup that has stoked fears of a new conflict. I thought I saw something about us throwing some troops at it. Listen, Brandon, don't mess with Putin. You don't have the skill set to engage with a master chess player. Just don't put us in any situations when we can focus on what's happening here. Okay, let's take care of our stuff, right? We need to really focus on making sure people are healthy, and you don't want to get into that chess match. I promise you. Okay, he will eat your lunch. That's just what it is. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. So this is the smart money dark pool and block trade algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. Okay. I want to take a break real quick. I need to go handle some housekeeping. I'm gonna wake up my chicken head. Do you want me to leave the FlowTrade with a couple tickers on it, or you want me to slap back futures so y'all can see what's happening there? Let me know. I'm getting a bunch of notifications from Simpler today. Chandler must be in the room going, let me show you what's happening. Why would you don't need to tweak your scan to find more shorts? Just throw a dart at it wall. So you want to look at futures? All right, Laz, I got you. I'm going to throw the 2-minute chart just so that you can see a little bit more movement. Remember, if you see this green is a supply demand zone. It's mainly a supply zone. So if it starts in, I didn't do one for the NQ, did I? I didn't, did I? All right, I'm so bummed, dude. I can't believe I thought I had the 980 puts on Tesla. I only have the 950s. I thought I was going in the money today. I have the 900s. If we get money on those, I'm going to be like, rich. All right, I'll be right back in a few minutes. While I'm gone, get some things together for what you want to look at through FlowTrade. Okay. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So we're gonna get a quick little pop, but I don't think it's gonna be too thrilling. Let's see if we reject this levels here. Check. All right, y'all can hear me. All right, so it's not looking the greatest. So we reject those levels. Bonds are selling off, which is pretty good for the ES, but everything is down. I just saw some stuff come through on Twitter about like Netflix is down 20% pre-market. Everything is down. All right, so I want to see what happens on this candle close here on the Dow and NQ. So far, we've rejected it. We're really trying to get some intraday movement here on the ES. It's probably the closest to getting some positively stacked moving averages again. Yeah, ooh, that was a big old bear trap right there on the Dow. Possibly here on the NQ as well. All right, we'll check back in on that in a second. Let me get through this. Okay. All right, so what you see in front of you is the smart money dark pool and block trade algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. They've created their own flow index algo, and what that does is it tracks smart money, large institutions, hedge funds. It tracks all the transactions, including retail. Oh my gosh, come on! What is wrong with me today? I don't want the last 13, yo. Give me the last 3. Do it this way. All right, there we go. The flow index algo tracks, it's this white line that you see here. It tracks smart money, dark pool, block trade, large institutions, transactions, right? And it creates this algorithm. It's predictive indicator, meaning that it takes all of those and it shows what smart money is doing. Okay. What we look for is we look for divergences between smart money buying into something and the price action selling off. What that does is it gives us an opportunity to know when that divergence occurred, and price will return to where the divergence occurred, meaning that price follows the white line and the white line leads price. Okay. So one last thing. If you see me drawing red lines across the screen, those are regular block trades. Blue lines are dark pool block trades, and white lines are fun. What a white line means is that a regular and a dark pool have printed on top of each other, and I can't separate them out. So I just usually use a white line for that. Those are major inflection points. Those are key areas of support and resistance. Lots of transactions happen at that area. For example, Tesla, right at this 1040 level. Right, lots of stuff happened at 1040. It rejected it and it fell off a cliff since then. Right, Tesla is actually made a new low. Right, it broke below its previous lows, so it's definitely opportunity to pull back. Okay, so the way I do this is first people here get first dibs. So if there's so I just start at the top of the chat and work my way down. And Drago asks for SPY. Nope. Laz was here with Peloton. And then Drago came in, wanted some SPY. I got you. And then Cerebro wants some Riot news. Right. And then finally... is the algo on TradingView you made the supply and demand one? Hold on 1 second. 1 second. The supply and oh no, I draw those. Yeah, that's a whole strategy in itself. I might do a video on it. I think it's important, especially we overtook the 382 on the SPY. Whoop-de-whoop. Whoop-de-whoop. All right. Yeah, I'll go into that if I have time. Supply and demand zones. All right, Peloton. Well, the 15-minute algo, well, they're buying, right? They're buying this dip on Peloton. So, and then finally, Jules wants to see QQQ, lots of LVS, Viacom, or Roku. All right. I know QQ is unavailable. QQQ. Oh, don't tell me. Sorry, I'm going to have to refresh. There's weird sound coming through. There we go. All right, much better. All right, so Peloton, Spy, Riot, and QQQ. All right, I'm going to blow these up so y'all can see it a little bit clearer. If I keep looking, I've got a monitor right over here. I keep checking in on futures. That's a gnarly Head and Shoulders forming. All right, so what are they doing with the Peloton 15-minute chart? Block trades the last 3 days. Look at all that retail, right? These are regular block trades on the way down. You'd think somebody knew what was happening. All of these printed on the way down, right? People are trying to really either sell out or buying the dip on it, right? Look at that, all the way down. So at the lows, the algo made a vertical move, which means that smart money is buying this dip. Okay. It's rare that we see a vertical move like this. What that usually means is that a bunch of investors got together at the same level and a bunch of transactions occurred there. So I'm going to give it a little while to kind of shake itself out, right? This is a better look at it on the 1 minute. So we have divergence that occurred at 27.13. At that level right here, you can see a clearly defined influx in capital as price action selling off. So we're going to look for a move back up to 27 for this divergence to play out. We've got dual regular block trades coming in at 24.05. That's going to be our support level. If those are a bunch of buy orders, then we can see a move up to 25.47, 26.50, and finally that might be it actually. So the divergence really occurred right there at the $27 level. I'll just call it this. Right, so I would anticipate a move up to 27. Above that, we'd have to see what the algo does. If the algo keeps buying, if the flow index keeps buying into it, then it could pull price back up towards a dark pull level at 30, 26, and then 30. 32 is going to be kind of a reach. So that's pretty much Peloton in a nutshell, and I think it gives a pretty good overview of what we're looking at. One thing I do want to check in on is Fib retracement, right, from high to low. Right, so it bounced, it retraced to the 2-3 extension, 2-3 Fib level, rejected that, and continued down. If these dual blocks come in as buy orders, then you can look for a move back up to the 232, and then the 3.8, which is at 28.75. I think that's a pretty healthy move. So it would be up, back, up to here, and then it makes a decision if it wants to continue to retrace or continue to sell off, right? The 2-3, that's a pretty significant move. So just definitely want to keep an eye on that. The algo is at previous highs. If it breaks through that, then we can see some continuation coming on Peloton. All right, moving on to the next one, which was the SPY. All right, so with the SPY, I really like to move my block trades down as much as possible to kind of alleviate some of the noise, right? This is the last 2 days of the SPY. Going into yesterday, right, we had some divergence because we opened here, right? So we opened here, the algo was up, we got a rally, right? We got that rally that had that divergence play out. Okay, and now the algo is trading with price, big old dip, right? We broke below. As far as key levels are concerned, there's a massive amount of dark pulls coming in. There's a white line, 458, but as long as that algo is continuing to sell, right, I would not look to go long on SPY for I mean, give it a week. All right, we may see just massive moves to the downside. All right. And by the way, this the white algo does not have a y-axis, so it don't use it as levels. It's free floating. But this is a pretty significant move to the downside. I guess I could draw a fib level from here. Right, it's just real ugly. All right, as far as potential upside, 451. If we can get through the 448 level, right? Lots of blocks there. Below 448, we hit 445 and lower. Above 448, right? 448 above 448.25. I think we see a rip to this white line that's coming in at 451.50, and then there's another one at 455. Interesting that we got some regular blocks coming in right at the close. Yeah, so a bunch of sell. Well, I think people started panicking and they started selling out of this area. So sells, some dark pool levels there. I don't know if they're buying the dip on that. It's interesting. So SPY, let's see what happens with the algorithm. It looks like there may be, well, that trend is busted. That one's broke. So there's this zone right here that the algo traded in that runs 450 to 452, right? If it bounces here and moves up, it could pull price action up with it. If it breaks down below that, then it's going to continue to move lower, okay? All right, next up on our list is Riot. All right, so Riot in the last 5 days, it's coming down, testing previous lows, 1750. What? That's crazy. All right, so Algo is selling, right? They're still net selling. It broke its regular or dark pool level at 1769. That came in approximately here. All right, see this right here is where that block came in. So there's a dark pool at there's a dark pool level at 1769 that hasn't been filled yet. Why is that important? Well, let's look at this. So it's really hard to see this white little dot, but there's one right there. At 1552, this dark pool block trade came in at 1769. Okay, what that means is that it did not get filled, right? They placed the order, but price was already too far gone. So if it's a sell order or a buy order, if it's a buy order, we can expect price to be a magnet back up towards it. The algo at that point was looks like it was selling. So were they trying to buy the dip? And it's just, if there's a bunch of buy orders coming in here, it will act as a magnet to pull price back up to 1769. If it's a sell order, when price gets up here, it's going to reject and move to the downside. So 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, right? Let me just grab that. Like, come on. Right there. So just going to leave that there. And just note that there's an opportunity for a pull up to that, or, oh, get back here. Right. And rejection, or it will act as support, and it will provide a continued move to the upside. Okay. All right. Moving on. The QQQ. I made some money off the QQQ. I had the 376 puts. And at $1, I sold at $1.85. And what happened? It went to 8. Yes. I got out too soon. I was really tired. I was like, I'm done. All right, so all of these blocks came in at 1500, right? At approximately, looks like those are all a bunch of sell orders coming in. There's dual blocks down here that came in yesterday at way after the close at 361.72. I think those are more sell orders because the algo was pointed pretty much vertical or straight down at the time. I don't believe that those are buy orders. So with the QQQ, 350, do you see that? There's another block down there. Whoa, let's get it. Oh, come on. All right, so more blocks down here at 358, right? Are they trying to buy the dip, or are they trying to, I think, well, with the algo pointed down, I think they may just be continued sell orders. 358.73, that came in after the close, and 361.72. What did I say, 358? 358.73. $358.73. Yep, that was. So we closed at here, a little bit of a rally, pull back. 358.73 is the weekly top, right? So there's a dark, come on. Close enough, right? So there's a block order there. We're starting to get a little bit of a trend reversal candle on the Radiant Fire. It's green, we might get a buy into it, but it is double red, so chop. Look at this high compression squeeze happening. The Qs want to pop, but if those moving averages don't get stacked positively, those squeezes could fire to the downside, pushing price below 357.74 down to 355. We're in the weekly Keltner channel cloud right now, right? That runs 359 down to 350, 351. If we reject the bottom of this 4 hour, then we're going to come down to the bottom of the weekly. So, like with here, we thought that we would start a reversal candle here, right? However, those squeezes fired off to the downside, and this may be an exaggerated, extended move back down. If we can get back up into the 4 hours, then we can look at a potential move, right? 4 hour to here, but we have to get, see what, right? Support above the 200, right? And then maybe a move to there. See this 200 SMA right here? Let me draw a line on that too. So this is a 4 hour 200 right there. It just happens to coincide with the 13. If we get a rip to 365, we're going to probably reject it, come back down and try to find support at the 4 hour. If we do, we got to get back up above it again. Contrarian though, okay? Here's, this is just truth in the market. Let me just see if I can make this big enough to show everybody. Right? If from here we reject the 4 hour, then we make this move back down to the bottom, right? Oh, I forgot I can't use the space bar. So, oh my gosh, I did it again. Sorry, y'all. Okay, let's look at this. Maybe we're in an LA wave right now. Right, correction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that the move? Maybe that is the move. Whoa, what did I do? I'm doing all right. I've got a few. All right, so if this is the correction move, that would be the 1, 2, 3. That fits. 4. 5. Let me look at this a little bit closer because I want to see something here. If for it to be a true Elliott wave reversal, this 4 spot could not have closed below the 1 spot, or it couldn't have went below the 1 spot, and I think it did. $33, $373.36. Yeah, 373.7. It did, so that's not it. Yeah, the fourth position can't go below the 1. So that's not the move. Huh. That's interesting. If it's this, if this is the 1, 2, 3, that's scary. That's a long way to fall. All right, so what I was trying to say is this. If we reject the 4-hour bottom, right, if we reject this cloud anywhere, then we continue to come back down to the weekly and through the weekly bottom. This yellow candle on the Squeeze Pro is giving me an indication that it may be a reversal candle, right? But it could be a false reversal candle like it was here. Okay. As long as these moving averages are stacked negatively, any squeezes that fire off should fire in the direction of the moving averages. So they should fire to the downside. We have the 200 and a previous low coming in at 375.29, and this is a 4-hour 200. Just got to keep an eye on it today. The algo is net selling, obviously, so just got to be nimble. If you're scared, don't trade. Stay in cash, okay? How can you tell if that dark pole print has been filled or not? The 358.73. That's the thing with dark poles is we can't, but we can usually assume based on price action what kind of order it was, okay? Well, if the 358, so we look and see what time it came in, right? That 358.73 came in at 1738. So, which is what, 5:38 yesterday. So we go back over here. We look at 5:38 yesterday. It's 4 o'clock. It's 15:38. Sorry. That's why I write these down. 1738, 358.73. 1738, 3. So 1738, which is here. $17.38. Right? And then 358.73. Is that what it was? 358.73, that's right. So, and then 358.73. 358.73. 358.73. I mean, we could assume that it did get filled. All right, so it came in, there would have been this doji right here. All right, so it came in, this block right here is approximately when it got ordered. There was a dip after that, so, right, it was a dip and then a big rip. So I would assume that this was a buy order, right? Because the initial fall off after the transaction came through, right? All those shares being taken off the market and then a rip. If it was a sell order, I think we would have gotten a larger move to the downside. Hold on. So we sold a bunch of shares and somebody bought them. Yeah, I would say that that is a, I think it might have been a buy transaction by the time it got filled, depending on how big it was, right? There's always a little dip after an order, so like flood the market, you get a false inflation, and then just think of the opposite, right? So if it's going down, then it was probably a buy order, right? They're buying as it's coming down, and they're right. So we got a little bit of a rip off of that. Okay, but there's no real with dark pools. There's no real way to tell. But with regular block trades, there is. Okay, all right. All right, so the last one's LVS, Viacom, Roku. I want to look at NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA might have a decent move today. All right. All right, LVS, we have bearish divergence, and let me explain why that is. And this is a good example. So price is trading with the algorithm, right? There's a big gap up. Price is still trading, the algo is still trading with price up until this point here, right? Where they both start selling off at the same time, right? And they both start buying into it, right? And then they both selling off, and they both start buying into it, and they both start selling off. So really, it looks like divergence. However, when the price makes a low, the algo is making a low. When the price makes a high, the algo is making a high. However, they are net selling, which means overall they're trying to get out of these positions, right? They're getting out of these positions as price is going up. That makes sense to me, because if I was in here, right, because we don't know what happened back before that, let's just say we bought in here, right? Well, we had a big old move up to the upside. Well, we're in, so we're going to start selling out of our position. So price is trading with the algo. The algo has made a higher low, and I'd be interested to see what happens when it gets up to this, when it gets out of this little trading zone. This is a real micro trading zone right here. It's a really small one. But if the algo can crack up above these levels and start making higher highs, I think that this divergence I want to say divergence occurred here, but it didn't, because price is, all right, here we go. So price is coming up as it's coming down. So that divergence played out here, right? Because we can move, like we can move this around. There we go. That's probably a better look at it. All right, see how price is trading with the algo, and then price is selling off, the algo selling out of it, right? They start buying into it again, selling out of it, buying into it, selling out of it, right? So there's some divergence that's fresh and brand new. So I like to give it a couple days to really call it truly, see, to truly define it as divergence. But from a block trade level, we got some important levels. There's a dark pool magnet, so this will act as a magnet. The support 4308, regular blocks at 4383 and 4411. So look for interaction to occur here, and if this support holds, then we can look at these regular block magnets on the way back up. Okay. Maybe 4279, maybe not. Okay. All right. Bitcoin went back into the 30,000 price range. Bank of Russia and Moscow evacuated after a bomb threat. Today's going to be glorious. Oh, it's going to be glorious. It's going to be amazing. On the algo, there's not really a course on it. It's just experience, right? Or on the flow index, it's just experience. There is some personal one-on-one training provided by FlowTrade. If you're interested, email me and I can put you in touch. Email me there, DJ, and I'll let you, and I can put you in touch with someone that can help you out with that. All right, Viacom, divergence. So where do we have divergence? Is it here? Right, the price is going one way. Nope, that divergence played out. How about here? Nope, price is coming down. Trading. So the price action is trading with the algorithm. There's a gap that needs to be filled down to 32.72, right? That I think we can just see some continued fade, right? If we were to draw some support levels, right? That's a pretty spot on support. If it cracks this level, then I think we can see a continued move to the downside of Viacom. With the algo pointed down, I think that we do see that at least gap fill to here and potentially even down to here. Okay. All right, moving on. The next one was Roku. Roku's got brand new, little bit of bullish divergence after it's been trading with price action for so long. It filled the gap, right? There's a little gap right here that Roku came down and filled. After it filled that gap, the algo started buying into it again. Dark pool levels at 171.35. That's your initial upside magnet. If you notice, there's a little dot right here, which means that this dark pool did not get filled. Okay, we've also got support if it needs it, down at 166.51. Right, a little bit of divergence occurring if price action or if the algo gets back above 171.36. I think we can see it pull Roku back up with it. This could be a nice little trade for the day. Oh, that was 1 minute chart. Looking at it on the 15, see how it's just trading with price action, right? Filled the gap, looking for a move back up. The algo has made a series of higher lows, right? And a series of higher highs over the last couple weeks, or the last week or so. So see the range, up, down, maybe a little quick dippity do, but definitely look for this area of support to hold. That falls right in line with what price action's doing, right? If I were to draw this channel, right, down to here, I think that that's a decent support channel on Roku. Roku is probably going to move in sympathy with Netflix, right? Or it may move to the inverse. People may be like, oh, let's get out of Netflix back into Roku. All right. And then finally, I have to run after this. I've got to get prepped for my other stream. And so NVIDIA, trading with price action, dark pool support, 241, resistance 250, right? Does it bounce there? Very well could. Those are just the last two block trades. I've already done SPY, but I'll pull it up real quick, and then I'll pull up Baidu real quick. But like I said, I've got to run. Okay, again with SPY, the algo is just trading with price, and it's selling off right now. Okay, a little inverted head and shoulders. It's broken its trendline support. I just think it's SPY is super heavy. And then Baidu, this is an evacuation, in my opinion. They are taking profits at this level in Baidu. There's a white line here at 162.62. Above that, then yeah, and watch out for bull or bear traps. Below trendline support, it's got a dark pool magnet at 155. And then 153, but this is like a max, this is just like a giant exodus away from Baidu as far as this algo is concerned. Now I have to run. Thanks for joining me. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications on your way out the door. I will see you on the weekend. I will try to do a live stream on Saturday to question and answer format. We can deep dive into any specific